What are going to be the top games at Essen Spiel 2023? Well, I have scavenged the internet and these are all the games that have caught my eye. And what I mean by scavenged is I looked at Board Game Geek's preview list for Essen Spiel 2023. If you want to take a look at all the games that are going to be there, I'll have a link for that down below. There is literally going to be over 1,000 different games at Essen Spiel. But all these games that I'm about to talk about are the ones that caught my eye, so let's get right into it. First things first, you gotta check out Fantasia's booth. They have 3 incredible games to check out. Unconscious Mind. This is a heavier Euro game that's easy to get into but still has a lot going on in terms of depth and strategy. It has a very unique theme where you are playing as some kind of dream therapist and you must dive into your client's dream in order to help them. The game will feature engine building, worker placement, and action programming. Now this one was on Kickstarter, so this one is going to be a demo and not available to purchase just yet. But if you're there, it's definitely a game worth checking out. It has a lot of good reviews and buzz around it. Now, if heavy Euros is not your thing, they do have a stripped down version of the game using the same artwork called Dream World. But this would be more of a simple card game that plays 2 to 4 players that only plays in 30 minutes. Now this one will also be only for demo purposes. It's not going to be available yet, but it is a sweet looking card game. And if you're already at the booth, you may as well check out the other awesome game that's going to be there. And that is Sweet Mess Pastry Competition. This is a baking competition game using sweet looking game components. You will have to gather ingredients from bowls, prepare different recipes in order to claim rewards. The more the recipes you can complete, the more skillful you will become and the more points you will earn. You can use special kitchen tools and earn golden tickets to gain a tactical advantage over the other players. Now this one should be delivering to backers around the world, so they may have a few copies to actually purchase there if it sounds like your kind of game. Now, if you like heavy Euro games, you should definitely check out Garfield Games' booth because they're going to have the second edition to the South Tigris series available to play, and that is Scholars of the South Tigris. This is a pretty complex game where there is going to be dice placement, bag building, mechanics. Players will earn points by translating different scrolls and increasing their knowledge in various areas of science and mathematics. Now, in terms of complexity, this one definitely looks like it's going to be a little bit harder than Wayfarers, but still quite enjoyable if you're into those heavier Euro games. And if you're a fan of these game series by Garfield Games, this is definitely something you probably want to check out, especially if you missed out on the Kickstarter. Now let's move on to the next game, which is the newest game by Stonemaier Games, and that is Apiary. This is going to be a game that you want to get your hands on. It's going to be available to purchase at Essen. You are going to be playing as super intelligent bees that have taken to outer space to build, explore, and grow their hives. Each player will control one of the 20 unique different factions. Your faction will start the game with a hive and a few resources, and some worker bees. The game contains worker placement, hive building, and the ability to explore different planets and gather resources and develop your technologies. If you didn't pre-order a copy of the game, then you can pick yourself up a copy at Essen. The game looks pretty sweet, so hopefully the gameplay is also solid. The White Castle. Honestly, just by the cover of this game, it looks really interesting, setting place in old Japan history. It's going to be available to purchase, and it is a tight resource dice placement game that is played over 3 rounds. Players will send their clan to tend to their gardens, defend the castle, or progress up the social ladder of nobility. At the end of the match, the player with the most victory points will win the game. Stunning artwork and a game where you have to spend your resources wisely. If that sounds like a game for you, pick up the White Castle. Evil Corp, a bag builder, tile activation, and area control game where the goal of the game is to scare the human villagers. There are a few different game modes based on player count, and there are 2 phases during the game. There is a day phase and a night phase. The day phase will be the phase where you can take your different actions, and the night phase is where you can score your points. Now, what makes this one interesting to me is the fact that you're actually trying to be the bad guys. You're working for an evil corporation trying to scare humans by sending out different monsters to the village. And the goal of the game is to be the scariest person so you can advance up in that corporation. So it's a game where the nice guys will finish last. Now, from the makers of Framecraft, check out Critter Kitchen, a restaurant battling game to prove that your restaurant is the best place to be. Players will gain awards and complete different recipes in order to win. It will have similar mechanics to Flamecraft, but instead of dragons, you are sending out different chefs to collect your resources. And each chef in this game will have a different amount of speed, determine which chef will get to what location first. Also, based off what chef will determine how many ingredients that chef can carry. So you must plan accordingly when you're racing towards an ingredient that everybody wants. There's also going to be a tiebreaker track to break ties if 2 or more players use the same chef to reach the same location to see which player would pick what ingredient first. Keep in mind, this one is also only going to be a demo at Essen, and it's going to be hitting Kickstarter fairly soon in the next couple weeks. Rats of Wistar. Players will play as one of 4 different rats who will organize the escape from the famous Wistar Institute. This one is going to have worker placement and exploration where you can open doors and gain different bonuses. You're also going to have the ability to make different inventions and solve missions within the farm in order to earn points. The player with the most amount of victory points within 5 rounds wins the game. A lighter style Euro game that's getting some good buzz and reviews, and it's going to be available to purchase at Essen. So if it sounds like your type of game, make sure to pick up a copy. For this next game, I was actually supposed to get a review copy to talk about, but I believe there is some delays in that. I'm not too sure if I'm getting a copy or not, but there are going to be some copies available at Essen, and that is Among the Cultists. This is a social deduction game where players are playing as investigators trying to prevent a secret ritual from happening in a university. You're going to be moving from different rooms to rooms, uncovering different secrets and planning out who among you can trust. So if you're into social deduction games, then this might be a game you want to pick up. If I do get a copy of this game, I will definitely do a review for you guys on the channel. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the next game that everyone is talking about and looks very interesting to me because the artwork is definitely stunning. EvenFall, a card-driven engine building game for 1 to 4 players. You must manage your resources and execute your actions effectively so you can discover different cards and action synergies that will give you tons of victory points. The player with the most amount of victory points after 3 rounds wins. Now, I just want to talk about a few more games that I played that are going to be at Essen Spiel. Before I mention my top picks to check out, and that is going to be Age of Rome. This is a worker placement game where you are playing as asymmetrical characters that lean into a certain playstyle. Some characters want to focus more on building military buildings and are going to be very good at area control. Some other characters are better at politics, but I absolutely love this game. I can't wait to get my copy. I backed this one on Kickstarter. I don't believe they're going to have copies available at Essen, but it's definitely a game that's worth playing if you get a chance to. Another game that might be worth checking out if you're at Essen is this game called Wish. This one is actually coming to Kickstarter October 10th, and they're going to be demoing it at Essen. It is a genie game where you are going to be trying to fulfill wishes by completing cards. In order to fulfill wishes, you are collecting gems. It honestly plays really quick. I played this game at 3 players and it was over in 45 minutes. The rulebook was very easy to follow and I just absolutely love the artwork. I'll be doing a full-on in-depth review for this game on the channel, so stay tuned for that. But again, this one is going to be hitting Kickstarter October 10th. I'll have a link for it if you guys want to follow the project down below. If you're looking for something different, check out Wish. Now moving on to the last 2 games, I want to quickly mention Nemesis Side Quest. This is going to be an escape room style of game. There's going to be exciting puzzles to solve set in the world of Nemesis. This will provide players with engaging puzzles and an interesting story with difficult decisions to make. So if you're a fan of Awaken Realms' Nemesis game and you love puzzle solving, then this is definitely a game for you. Another game that's going to be available to demo that sounds pretty awesome or looks awesome, Battle of Gods. A fast-paced arena battle game where champions of the Norse mythology will clash in a battle arena. Those are all the games that look interesting to me. Let me know what games you guys are excited for that are going to be at Essen. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.